Section 1. The Galactic Demand for Tribute. The air in the Galactic Council chamber was thick with tension. The colossal hall, carved into the heart of an ancient asteroid and lit with an otherworldly glow from bioluminescent panels, was a spectacle of diversity. Representatives of hundreds of species from across the galaxy filled the chamber, each seated in floating pods that hovered and adjusted their positions like an intricate dance. From the insectoid Clacthar to the towering crystalline corvins, every species present embodied the vastness of galactic civilization. Yet today, all eyes were on one small, relatively new species, humanity. At the center of the chamber stood Ambassador Amina Rahim, Earth's appointed representative to the Galactic Union. She was calm, her posture confident, but her heart pounded as she prepared to face the council. Opposite her, seated atop a massive, throne-like dais, were the Arborians, ancient and towering beings with bark-like skin and glowing amber eyes. The Arborians were the de facto leaders of the Galactic Union, their authority rooted in millennia of dominance and their reputation as protectors of galactic stability. The Arborian High Speaker, HFY, rose, his voice resonating like the groan of ancient trees bending in the wind. "Humans of Earth," he began, his tone condescending, "your planet has been granted the privilege of membership in the Galactic Union. This honor comes with responsibilities. As a gesture of loyalty and commitment, you are required to pay tribute, as is tradition." The word hung in the air, heavy and oppressive. Tribute. It was a euphemism for submission, a demand for resources, labor, and intellectual property that had historically cemented the Arborians' control over lesser species. A holographic display appeared in the center of the chamber, listing the terms of the tribute. Amina's eyes narrowed as she read the list. The Arborians were demanding 15% of Earth's rare metals, a delegation of Earth's top scientists to serve the Union indefinitely, and a catalog of Earth's cultural and historical artifacts. To anyone unfamiliar with Earth's history, it might have seemed reasonable. But to Amina and the people she represented, it was colonialism wrapped in the veneer of diplomacy. Whispers rippled through the chamber as alien representatives observed Earth's reaction. The insectoid Clacthar ambassador clicked his mandibles, while the aquatic Yulan ambassador swirled in their tank, their bioluminescent patterns betraying curiosity. This was a test of Earth's resolve, and everyone was eager to see how the humans would respond. Amina stepped forward, her voice steady but laced with steel. "High Speaker HFY, members of the Galactic Council, humanity appreciates the opportunity to join this esteemed body. However, we must address the nature of this tribute." She paused, allowing her words to echo in the chamber. "Humanity has a long and complicated history with the concept of tribute," she continued. "For centuries, our species fought to free itself from systems of oppression and exploitation. The demands you make today echo the injustices of our past, and we must carefully consider the implications of complying." The chamber grew silent. Some representatives were visibly impressed by her boldness. Others were aghast at what they saw as insolence. HFY's amber eyes glowed brighter as he responded, his tone cold. "Ambassador Rahim, refusal to comply with tribute is grounds for expulsion from the Union. Your species is young, inexperienced, and vulnerable. The Galactic Union offers protection and prosperity. In return, we expect cooperation. Surely, you understand the gravity of defiance." Amina's jaw tightened, but she kept her expression neutral. "We understand the gravity," she replied, her voice unwavering. "And we will respond accordingly." Back on Earth, the Arborians' demand for tribute sparked outrage. News of the council meeting spread rapidly, and humanity's collective response was swift and visceral. Social media platforms buzzed with hashtags like #NoToTribute and #HumanityUnbowed. Protesters flooded city squares, waving banners that declared Earth's independence. In the halls of power, world leaders convened emergency meetings. For the first time in decades, humanity stood united, from the skyscrapers of New York to the bustling streets of Lagos and the sprawling metropolises of Beijing and Mumbai. Leaders debated their options. We can't afford to anger the Arborians, argued one advisor. Their fleets could wipe us out if we provoke them. But can we afford to submit? Countered another. What kind of future are we building if we begin our journey into the stars by bending the knee? Amina, patched into the discussions via a secure channel, listened carefully before speaking. We will not submit, she said firmly. But neither will we declare war. Humanity's strength lies in our ability to adapt, to think creatively, and to challenge expectations. I propose we meet their demand for tribute, on our terms. The suggestion sparked confusion and intrigue. What do you mean? Asked the President of the United Nations. We'll give them a tribute that reflects who we are, Amina replied. Something that shows our value as equals, not subjects. But it won't be what they're expecting. The plan was bold, unorthodox, and risky. It required the cooperation of artists, scientists, and diplomats working in tandem to craft a response that would both fulfill the demand and challenge the premise of the tribute itself. Amina knew it was a gamble, but it was one worth taking. As she returned to the Galactic Council chamber to deliver humanity's response, she couldn't help but feel the weight of history on her shoulders. This was more than a diplomatic negotiation. It was humanity's first real test on the galactic stage. Whatever came next would define their place among the stars. The section ends with Amina standing at the edge of the chamber, her chin held high as the doors to the council opened. The Arborians and the galaxy waited, but so did humanity, with bated breath, ready to defy expectations. Hashtag Section 2, Humanity's Tribute with a Twist. The Galactic Council chamber was packed to capacity, its audience abuzz with speculation. Representatives from all corners of the galaxy had gathered, eager to witness humanity's response to the Arborians' demand for tribute. The humans had remained tight-lipped, fueling rumors that ranged from bold defiance to quiet capitulation. But whatever was about to unfold, it was clear that humanity intended to make an impression. Ambassador Amina Rahim stood at the center of the chamber, calm and poised. Behind her hovered a sleek holographic projector, its interface humming with anticipation. The Arborian High Speaker HFY loomed in his elevated position, his glowing amber eyes fixed on Amina with an air of thinly veiled condescension. Humans of Earth, HFY intoned, his voice deep and resonant. You have had sufficient time to prepare. Present your tribute, as is required by the laws of the Galactic Union. Let us see what value your species offers to the greater whole. Amina inclined her head slightly, a gesture that could be interpreted as either respect or defiance. High Speaker HFY, esteemed members of the Galactic Council, she began, her voice clear and firm. Humanity understands the gravity of this moment. We understand that tribute is a tradition meant to symbolize cooperation, unity, and mutual benefit. And we intend to honor that tradition. The chamber fell silent as she paused, her gaze sweeping across the alien representatives. However, she continued, we believe that tribute should reflect the unique strengths of the species offering it. For humanity, our greatest strength lies not in resources or raw power, but in our creativity, our resilience, and our ability to inspire. A murmur spread through the crowd. Creativity? Inspiration? These were not the currencies of tribute. A few ambassadors exchanged skeptical glances, while others leaned forward with curiosity. HFY's expression remained impassive, but the faint twitch of a branch-like appendage betrayed his irritation. Amina gestured toward the holographic projector, which sprang to life, casting vibrant images and sounds into the air. Allow me to present humanity's tribute, she said. Not as a surrender of resources, but as a gift of understanding, a glimpse into the soul of our species. The first display was a recreation of Earth's natural wonders. Towering mountains capped with snow, lush rainforests teeming with life, and vast oceans shimmering under golden sunsets filled the chamber. Gasps of admiration rippled through the audience. The aquatic Yulon ambassador emitted a series of bioluminescent pulses, a clear sign of approval. This is Earth, Amina explained, a planet of immense beauty and diversity. But our tribute is not merely what our planet holds. It is what we create. The hologram shifted, now displaying scenes from humanity's artistic and cultural history. The soaring strains of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony echoed through the chamber, followed by the intricate brushstrokes of Van Gogh's Starry Night. Indigenous dances from various Earth cultures played out in stunning detail, each movement a story of resilience and tradition. "This is who we are," Amina said. "A species that finds meaning in creation, that celebrates its struggles and triumphs through art, music, and storytelling. These works are more than expressions of beauty. They are testaments to our survival, our ingenuity, and our hope." Some members of the council were visibly moved. The crystalline corvins emitted harmonious vibrations that signified admiration, while the feline-like Valera ambassador flicked her tail in quiet approval. But others were less impressed. "This is art," grumbled the reptilian dwarf delegate, his scales darkening with irritation. "It is not tribute. Where are the resources, the technologies, the labor we require? This is a mockery of tradition." Amina turned to him, her eyes steady. "Ambassador Tfor, humanity could offer resources. We could send our brightest minds or surrender our rarest metals. But would that truly honor the spirit of tribute? Or would it merely reinforce a system of extraction and subjugation? We believe tribute should elevate, not diminish. And what we offer today has the power to inspire the entire galaxy." The hologram shifted again, this time displaying scenes of human resilience. Footage of space exploration played across the chamber: the first moon landing, the Mars rovers, and the construction of orbital habitats. "We are a species that reaches for the stars, despite every obstacle," Amina said. "We have faced extinction, war, and division, yet we endure. That is our gift. That is our tribute." Warhvath leaned forward, his amber eyes glowing brighter. "You dare to challenge the definition of tribute?" he asked, his voice cold. "This is not what was demanded." Amina met his gaze without flinching. "We challenge not the demand, High Speaker, but the intent. If the Galactic Union seeks merely to extract, then humanity has no place here. But if it seeks to grow, to learn, and to evolve, then we believe our offering is the truest form of tribute." For a moment, the chamber was silent. Then, unexpectedly, the insectoid Klakthar ambassador rose, clicking his mandibles. "The humans, they surprise us," he said in his sharp, buzzing voice. "We find this offering intriguing." One by one, other ambassadors began to voice their opinions. Some praised humanity's ingenuity, others decried their arrogance. The chamber descended into chaos as the council debated the nature of tribute itself. Meanwhile, Amina stood tall, her expression calm but resolute. She knew this was a gamble, but it was also a statement, a declaration that humanity would not be defined by the expectations of others. Whatever the outcome, Earth had made its mark. The section ends with Warhvath calling for a recess, his expression unreadable. "The council will deliberate," he declared, "and we shall decide if this offering is acceptable." As the chamber emptied, Amina allowed herself a small, satisfied smile. The Arborians had demanded tribute. Humanity had delivered far more than they bargained for. Section 3. Conflict and Galactic Politics. The recess had barely begun when the Galactic Council chamber erupted into chaos. Alien delegates clustered into factions, their holographic pods buzzing as debates raged. The Arborians, seated high on their dais, remained silent but visibly tense. High Speaker Warhvath's glowing amber eyes betrayed the storm brewing beneath his ancient, bark-like exterior. Humanity's bold move had not only defied their expectations, but also threatened the very foundation of their control over the Galactic Union. In the sprawling corridors surrounding the chamber, Ambassador Amina Rahim found herself surrounded by a mix of allies, skeptics, and outright opponents. The insectoid Klakthar ambassador approached her first, his mandibles clicking with curiosity. "Human," he began, his multifaceted eyes gleaming, "your tribute is unconventional. It has stirred much discussion. Some among us find it refreshing. Others, infuriating. Tell me, was this your plan all along?" To disrupt the Council's traditions? Amina allowed herself a faint smile. Our plan, she replied, was to remind the galaxy that tribute should reflect the strengths of those who give it. Humanity will not offer its submission. We offer our ingenuity and spirit. The Klakthar ambassador clicked approvingly before scuttling away, but not all reactions were as positive. A group of reptilian Tvor diplomats hissed menacingly as Amina passed, their scales shimmering with irritation. One of them, a senior delegate named Krask, stopped her. "This is insolence," he snarled, his forked tongue flickering. "The Arborians have kept order in this galaxy for millennia. By challenging their authority, you risk not only Earth's safety but the stability of the entire Union. Do you truly believe your art and spirit can protect you from the consequences?" Amina met his glare, without flinching. "Stability is important, Ambassador Krask," she said evenly. "But stability built on oppression and extraction is doomed to collapse. Humanity is offering the Union a new perspective, not defiance. It's up to the Council to decide whether it's ready to embrace change." Krask hissed in response but said nothing more. As he slithered away, Amina's communicator buzzed. A secure message flashed on her wrist-mounted device, marked with Earth's diplomatic encryption. It was from the Terran High Command. "Ambassador Rahim," the message began, "intelligence suggests the Arborians are convening a private council with their allies. Reports indicate they may push for sanctions or even a preemptive military strike against Earth. Be cautious. We stand ready." Amina's stomach tightened. She knew humanity's tribute would provoke a reaction, but open hostility from the Arborians could spell disaster. She hurried to a private alcove where a holographic projection of Earth's leaders appeared, their faces tense. "The Arborians are rattled," Amina reported. "They see our tribute not just as defiance, but as a threat to their dominance. We need to prepare for anything." The President of the United Nations leaned forward, his expression grim. "Do you believe they'll risk war?" "Not immediately," Amina replied. "They'll try to isolate us first, diplomatically, economically, perhaps even technologically. We need allies in the Council. If we can turn even a few key species to our side, the Arborians will think twice about escalating." The next few hours were a whirlwind of diplomacy. Amina met with representatives from species sympathetic to humanity's position. The crystalline Corvins, who had long chafed under the Arborians' rigid hierarchies, expressed cautious support. "Our kind values creativity," said their ambassador, a towering figure who shimmered with refracted light. "But the Arborians will not yield easily. They may try to crush you before your ideas can take root." The feline-like Valera ambassador was more direct. "We admire your courage, human," she said, her tail swishing. "But courage alone will not save you. What other strengths does your species possess?" Amina hesitated for a moment before deciding to reveal a carefully guarded secret. "Humanity has been preparing for the challenges of galactic life since we first learned we were not alone," she said. "We've developed technologies that leverage our adaptability and ingenuity, tools for defense, exploration, and diplomacy. We don't seek conflict, but we won't be defenseless." The Valera ambassador's ears twitched with interest. "A bold claim," she said. "Perhaps bold enough to change the balance of power." As Amina worked to build alliances, the Arborians were equally busy. HFY convened a secret meeting with his most loyal allies, including the Tvor and other species who had long benefited from the existing tribute system. "These humans are a threat," HFY declared, his voice resonating through the chamber like a thunderclap. "Their so-called tribute undermines the very principles that have held this union together for millennia. If we allow this insolence to stand, it will embolden others to challenge our authority. We must act decisively." Krask, the Tvor delegate, nodded in agreement. "Sanctions may not be enough. If Earth refuses to comply, we must consider more direct measures." The Arborians' plan was clear: isolate humanity, weaken their position, and, if necessary, crush them before they could inspire further dissent. But their confidence was not absolute. Humanity's unexpected boldness had unsettled even these ancient powers, leaving them uncertain about the true extent of Earth's capabilities. Back in the council chamber, Amina delivered a speech that would be remembered for generations. Standing at the central podium, she addressed not just the Arborians, but the entire Union. The Galactic Union was founded on the principles of cooperation and mutual benefit, she began, her voice strong and unwavering. But over time, those principles have been twisted into tools of control. Humanity refuses to accept a system that demands submission instead of partnership. Our tribute is not an act of defiance. It is an invitation to evolve. Her words resonated with many, but they also deepened the divide within the council. As the session ended, HFY rose, his voice cold and commanding. "The council will vote tomorrow," he announced. "And let it be known that the Arborians will not forget where each of you stands in this matter." As Amina left the chamber, she felt the weight of humanity's future pressing down on her. The battle for Earth's place in the galaxy was far from over, but one thing was clear: humanity had already changed the game. Section 4. Humanity's Triumph. The day of the Galactic Council vote dawned with an almost palpable sense of anticipation. The chamber was once again packed to capacity, its atmosphere charged with tension and uncertainty. Every species present knew this decision would reverberate far beyond the immediate conflict between humanity and the Arborians. The vote was about more than just a single species tribute. It was a test of the Union's values and the balance of power that had held it together for millennia. Ambassador Amina Rahim stood at the center of the chamber, composed but acutely aware of the stakes. Behind her, the holographic projector had been deactivated, its vivid displays of Earth's creativity and resilience no longer filling the space. Now, it was humanity's arguments and alliances that would determine the outcome. High Speaker HFY began the proceedings, his deep, resonant voice cutting through the murmurs. "Members of the Galactic Council, we convene today to determine whether the humans' so-called tribute satisfies the requirements of membership in the Union. Let the debate commence." The first to speak was Krask, the Tvor delegate, his serpentine body coiling and uncoiling as he hissed his disapproval. "This mockery cannot stand," he declared. "Tribute is a symbol of commitment and subservience to the greater good of the Union. The humans' offering is an affront to tradition and a dangerous precedent. If we accept it, we invite chaos." A ripple of agreement passed through the faction loyal to the Arborians. But then, to Amina's surprise, the crystalline Corvin ambassador rose to speak. "Chaos or progress?" the Corvin asked, his voice a harmonious melody of chimes. "The humans' offering challenges our understanding of tribute, yes. But is that not the purpose of this union? To grow, to learn, to evolve? Their creativity and resilience are gifts, not insults. Perhaps it is time we rethink what we demand from our members." The chamber erupted into debate, with delegates from every corner of the galaxy voicing their opinions. The insectoid Klakthar ambassador clicked his mandibles in agreement with the Corvins, while the aquatic Yulon ambassador emitted soothing light patterns, signaling cautious support for humanity. Amina watched the proceedings carefully, noting which factions seemed to be swayed by the arguments in her favor. But she also noticed HFY's growing frustration. The High Speaker had not expected such division, and it was clear he was struggling to maintain control. Finally, it was Amina's turn to speak. She stepped forward, her voice cutting through the din with quiet authority. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council," she began, "humanity's tribute was never meant to disrespect your traditions. It was meant to honor them in the best way we know how, by offering a piece of ourselves, something that reflects our values and our potential to contribute to this union." She paused, letting her words sink in. "We are not the first species to question the meaning of tribute, nor will we be the last. If the Galactic Union is to thrive, it must adapt. It must welcome new perspectives and new ideas. That is what humanity offers, not defiance, but the willingness to challenge ourselves and each other to be better." Her words were met with a wave of murmurs, some skeptical, others approving. But before anyone could respond, HFY rose, his towering form casting a long shadow over the chamber. "Enough," he intoned, his voice echoing like a storm. "The time for words is over. Let us vote." The chamber fell silent as the voting process began. Each delegate activated a holographic interface, their decisions represented by glowing symbols that floated into the air. Green for acceptance, red for rejection. As the votes were cast, a massive holographic display in the center of the chamber tallied the results in real time. For a moment, the numbers seemed evenly split, with green and red symbols dancing in a precarious balance. But then, slowly, the green symbols began to outnumber the red. Amina held her breath as the final votes came in. When the tally was complete, the result was clear. Humanity's tribute had been accepted by a narrow margin. The chamber erupted into noise, some delegates cheering, others shouting in anger. Warich Vatha's glowing eyes dimmed slightly, his frustration barely concealed. But as the High Speaker, he was bound by the Council's decision. The Galactic Union, he announced reluctantly, accepts the humans' tribute. They shall remain members of this body, and their offering shall stand as a precedent for future discussions on the nature of tribute. Amina allowed herself a small, triumphant smile. But she knew the battle was not over. Humanity had won this round, but their position in the Union remained precarious. The Arborians and their allies would not forget this challenge to their authority. As the delegates dispersed, several approached Amina to offer their congratulations. The Corvin ambassador shimmered with approval, while the Valera ambassador purred softly. "You've made quite the impression, human," she said. "But tread carefully. The Arborians are not accustomed to losing." Back on Earth, news of the Council's decisions sparked celebrations across the globe. Crowds gathered in city squares, cheering and waving banners that declared humanity's triumph. Social media exploded with messages of pride and solidarity, and for the first time in years, humanity felt a sense of unity and purpose. But amidst the celebrations, Amina and Earth's leaders remained vigilant. The Arborians' defeat in the Council was a blow to their authority, and they would undoubtedly seek ways to reassert their dominance. "We've won the first battle," Amina told the Terran High Command in a secure transmission. "But the war for our place in the galaxy is just beginning. We must be ready for anything." As the holographic display of Earth's leaders faded, Amina looked out at the stars beyond the chamber's massive windows. Humanity had taken its first step into the galactic community, not as subjects, but as equals. It was a victory hard won, and one that carried with it the weight of immense responsibility. The section closes with Amina standing alone in the empty chamber, the stars reflecting in her eyes. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, and it would fight to keep it.